Good evening, you're watching News Always On. I'm Kessyl. Twitter signals a major new effort to restore trust on the popular platform by removing tens of millions of suspicious accounts from users' followers today. According to New York Times, the reform takes aim at a pervasive form of social media fraud. Many users have inflated their followers on Twitter or other services with automated or fake accounts, buying the appearance of social influence to bolster their political activism, business endeavors, or entertainment careers. Twitter's decision will have an immediate impact. Beginning on Thursday, many users, including those who have bought fake followers and any others who are followed by suspicious accounts, will see their follower numbers fall. While Twitter declined to provide an exact number of affected users, the company said it would strip tens of millions of questionable accounts from users' followers. The move would reduce the total combined follower count on Twitter by 6%, which is a substantial drop. An investigation by the New York Times in January demonstrated that just one small Florida company sold fake followers and other social media engagement to hundreds of thousands of users around the world, including politicians, models, actors, and authors. The revelations prompted investigations in at least 2 states and calls in Congress for intervention by the Federal Trade Commission. In interviews this week, Twitter executives said that the Times reporting pushed them to look more closely at steps the company could take to clamp down on the market for fakes, which is fueled in part by growing political and commercial value of a widely followed Twitter account. Officials at Twitter acknowledged that easy access to fake followers and the company's slowness in responding to the problem had devalued the influence accumulated by legitimate users, sowing suspicion around those who quickly attained a broad following. Del Harvey, Twitter's Vice President for Trust and Safety, said, quote, "We don't want to incentivize the purchase of followers and fake accounts to artificially inflate follower accounts, because this is not an accurate measure of someone's influence on the platform or influence in the world. We think it's a really important and meaningful metric, and we want people to have confidence that these are engaged users that are following other accounts." The market for fakes was also hurting Twitter with advertisers, which increasingly rely on social media influencers and mini celebrities to promote brands and products to their followers to reach customers. In recent months, advertising and marketing firms have put pressure on Twitter, YouTube, and other platforms to help ensure that influencers may have the reach they claim. Last month, consumer goods giant Unilever, which spends billions of dollars a year on advertising, announced that it would no longer pay influencers who purchase followers. Instead, they would prioritize spending advertising dollars on the platforms that took steps to stamp out fraud. The Washington Post reported last week that Twitter suspended more than 70 million accounts in May and June, and Twitter estimates that as a result of Thursday's changes, the average user will see his or her follower number drop by 4. But that number would be much higher for some accounts. Next up, we are looking at another story. The attorneys for a family seeking asylum in the United States tried to visit 2 young girls who were shipped to New York City on Wednesday after being separated from their parents at the Mexican border. Texas attorney Ricardo De Anda and co-counsel Michael Avenatti arrived at the home for children in East Harlem, where the 9-year-old and 5-year-old Honduras girls are now living. Here is more.
I represent 2 young girls who are living behind me. Sarli, who's 5 years old, and Cecia, who's 9 years old. I represent their mother, Denise, who's in prison in Texas. She cannot speak. She has asked me, and she has asked my co-counsel, Michael Avenatti, to come here and speak to you for her. I want you to know that she is a strong woman. She is fighting for her children. They may have her behind bars, but they have not incarcerated her spirit or her soul.
Amen. Harvey FC would have been here, he just couldn't reschedule, but now I want to introduce State Senator.
My client, Hector Tejeda Santos, the children's father. He is not in prison. He lives in Galveston, Texas. He's been fighting for longer than 30 days to be reunited with her 2 girls. There is absolutely no reason why the federal government cannot release these 2 girls to their own father.
Right.
but this is personal to me.
Donald Trump talks a big game. He claims that he can build and do anything he truly wants to do. If he truly wanted to reunite these families, guess what? They'd be reunited. The reason why these families are not reunited, and the reason why we stand outside this facility here today, is because Donald Trump and his administration do not want to reconcile and reunite these families. They want to continue to send a message. That message is flawed. That message does not reflect the values of our nation, does not reflect what America is all about.
Coming up here to be reunited with their children. We are going to start.
This administration stripped these children from these parents with no plan. When you drop off your dry cleaning, they give you a claim check. When you check in at the airport, they give you a check for your bag. When you give birth to a child in a hospital, they give you a wristband, and they put a wristband around the baby. This administration not only stole these children from these immigrants, these families, these mothers, these fathers, but they then proceeded to lose them because they had no plan.
We are such a higher authority. So we, as the faith community,
That is all the news we have for today, but here's a fun fact again. Did you know that during your lifetime you will produce enough saliva to fill up 2 swimming pools? For News Always On, I'm Kessyl. I'll see you tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon. Have a nice day.